Welcome to Lashback. I'm Natalyan.
And I'm Phoebe, and today we are talking about voice noting.
So, as per usual, I'll do a quick Google of what that means. I know that might seem quite obvious, but WhatsApp voice noting, which I'm specifically talking about WhatsApp for a reason, is a feature that allows users to send short audio recordings to convey their message without typing. It is a quick
Thought.
Exactly. It is a quick and effective way to communicate verbally and share detailed messages quickly. Is that an oxymoron? Detailed messages quickly. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what's your thoughts on voice noting? Because I have some key ones of how I've evolved into doing it myself.
I have some friends that only voice note. There's also that thing about somebody saying, if I've sent you a text, I want a text back. But like,
Yeah.
I quite like them because if you're like walking down the road and you've got to look where you're going, it's quite nice to have a voice note. But I can't always listen if I'm in an environment where I can't listen to someone. So a text might be quicker. Depends on the subject,
Exactly.
doesn't it? What do you
It,
voice
it
note
certainly
about?
does. So I have a friend that years ago used to only voice note before I voice noted, and after a while, I said, "Can you just stop voice noting me? I'm never in an environment where I can hear it. I don't want to listen to it. Just send me a text." And she wouldn't. She wouldn't. And then eventually I became that person. And I love it now. But voice noting is definitely not quick for me anyway, but I really enjoy it now.
Some people voice note the way that they speak. I have to listen to it on double time, otherwise I lose patience.
So true. It's so true because you
Gosh,
forget about what my friend said this to me the other day. She said that was such a long voice note that I don't remember what you said at the beginning, so I can't respond to it because I don't remember.
yeah,
And then she same.
I've got a mate who it was during lockdown actually, and we just got into this habit of spending really long voice notes. And I'd have to take notes. I'd sit down, get a cup of tea, right, got a voice note, sit down, cup of tea, write notes so I could respond to everything. Of course, meant she sent me a 10-minute one. I was sending her a 15-minute one back. And sometimes at one point you got to think this should probably be a phone call.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so funny because it should be you and me do it all the time. And God forbid if I send one after a few wines and listen to it, I've done that and cringed the next morning.
Yeah, yeah. Although I guess it's a really what's nice about them is it's nice to hear someone's voice, and maybe
100%.
you haven't got time to have a phone call or whatever, and it's just a quick
Mm.
thing, but it's really nice to like, oh, just sending you a happy birthday. That's really nice. But if it's
Yeah.
like meet me at 4, I'm not gonna just meet me at 4. Text it. And then, oh, it's 4 o'clock, okay.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
read that.
I couldn't agree more. But hearing someone's voice, I think you've just hit the nail on the head for me, especially me living in America,
Yeah.
away from my friends, and you don't always have the same time zone. So I'm 5 hours behind you. So I'll send you a voice note, and you can hear my voice in the morning. I can send you happy birthday. I can sing to you, and I miss my friends' voices. And I have friends that send me voice notes on a Friday night out, and you can see on their voice notes as they go through the night the more alcohol they've had, and I love it. I love it. It makes me feel like I'm closer to my people. So I think there's
Yeah.
definitely a positive to it.
I guess what we're saying here is horses for courses, isn't it? Sometimes, if it's a detail, here's the information you need that you can read again for reference later. 4 o'clock, this postcode, this time, or whatever. But if it's something, maybe you don't want to put it in writing, or
Yeah.
it's difficult to put into writing, it's nice to sort of say, "Oh, I was just wondering about this, and could you give me a heads up on a blah blah blah." But what do you think about that whole if somebody texts you and you voice note back, or if somebody voice notes you and you text back? So then you're not like kind of on the same communication vibe.
I think that's a really good point. I haven't really thought about that because I tend to. It's so funny how I've gone from absolutely hating voice noting to loving it. I think that I definitely do both, depending on where I am. Because if
Mm.
I'm like, uh, in the car and I stop, obviously, and then I haven't got time to type, I can quickly send them a message. But I think your point about it depends on the message is key. If I want a piece of information to go across, then be short about it. If it's
Yeah,
just waffling about your week, like I've sent you waffling ones, and I brainstormed an idea about lashback, for example,
yeah,
and as I'm talking, I'm answering the questions.
yeah. But because that's a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's about actually needing a conversation. Because sometimes
yeah,
we do just need a conversation, don't we?
to yourself.
Yeah, to yourself. Indeed,
Absolutely, absolutely.
indeed.
And I think, but the voice noting, I specifically said WhatsApp at the beginning because WhatsApp I love, but I don't know if it's the same on your phone. But if I voice note on text message, not a Wi-Fi based like WhatsApp, then I lose it a lot of the time because you've got to say keep or something like that,
Do you
and
know?
it's not as easy to use.
I'm checking my phone. I tried to send a voice note on text the other day, and it just didn't have the facility. Oh, it is there. No, that's
It's
dictation.
hard.
Instagram's funny for voice noting because you've got 1 minute. And I think that's quite
Yeah.
good that they put the limit on there. You know, to talk really quickly to get this thing done in the 59 seconds, and I can see the seconds moving, and I go, okay, quick, quick, quick. But then there's other people that, I'll go into Insta messaging and I'll have like 4 different voice notes from them because they've had to keep pressing it. It can be a funny thing. Can
I've
be a
never
funny thing.
I've never done that on. So you're talking about Instagram in the messages.
Yeah,
I've never done that. So does it just cut you off after a minute?
just cuts you off.
Oh,
It's like they
that
know.
gives me anxiety.
It is a completely different experience to the long-winded WhatsApp voice note you might do.
Oh, it does make me laugh though, and it's so funny how I've done a complete U-turn on hating them to loving them, and it's like, if you can't beat them, join them approach. It's the whole social media thing that we've talked about in a number of episodes about the pros and cons. One, this is definitely not a quick and effective way, really. It
No,
is quicker. I think texting or messaging, typing is going to be the quickest way because you can see it. You don't need to be in an environment where you can hear it. But I think that for me, voice noting is about connecting with people that I miss, and also waffling about my day to them to get it off my chest when I live alone, you know.
yeah, or if you're going through a big emotional thing,
Yeah,
sometimes in a way, I'd rather have a voice note than a 6 paragrapher,
me too.
but I'd rather have a little quick text than a 2 second voice note. So yeah, meet at 4.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think it depends on the point. Like when you and me are brainstorming about lashback, if it's definitive information, then we tend to text it,
Yeah,
don't we? But
because
then
we
we
have to read it later.
yeah,
I hate
exactly. Because
having to like, oh, when did they send that to me? And I need to listen to that again. And which one bloody was it? Yeah,
you can't a def sorry, not a default, a fault of WhatsApp messaging, unless it's changed, is we used to use them in a music sense to send recordings of the rehearsal,
yeah.
but when you send them, you can't name them.
So
That
finding
that
them later is
it's
annoying.
just it's impossible if you have
Yeah,
loan, because you used to always record them when we did Blues Kitchen Gospel Choir.
yeah.
I don't know what you did that on.
I used to put my phone on the stage, and I also had one of those Zoom recorders. But
Mhm.
that's different because that's sharing audio. And voice notes,
Yeah.
if you share audio, you can go into all media and
Mhm.
you have to scroll through them. But voice notes, they go into all media,
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
record voice notes.
Yeah, no, I know that, but if you forward them though, you wouldn't know what you can't name them.
No, but it's also a privacy issue. Like if I sent you a voice note that's divulging some kind of, personal secret,
Mm,
somebody
mm.
could forward that to somebody else.
I've, I've said many secrets in my voice notes over time.
Um,
I've listened to some the next day, and look, I'm just talking about like funny nights, and I think, oh my god, what was I talking about? It's like the new age of putting a Facebook status up at the wrong time. But at least you're sending it to a friend.
to a friend, yeah. Although I guess
Yeah.
like thinking about us slightly older people that remember a world without a world without mobile phones even, you know, we've kind of got a
Yeah,
discernment, I think, our generation around what's, you know, online worthy and maybe what's not, and
that's
privacy
true.
and that kind of thing. And the youngins today, you know, like if I was a 12-year-old and I could, you know, bitch about my schoolmate on a voice note to another schoolmate, I mean, that would be a really
Yeah.
hard lesson, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think you've brought about another topic we can talk about in Lashback,
Yeah.
because that's really key in, like, knowing that I've watched like documentaries where people on Snapchat have been caught because they think that Snapchat is what it's meant to be, is that it goes and deletes. But if someone saves it on their phone, it's on someone else's phone. You can save them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, what was a couple of years ago, Jennifer Lawrence, you know, some nude pictures of her being hacked off her mobile and then made public and stuff like that. It's like, you know, cybersecurity is a bit more of an understood thing these days than it was a couple of years ago. And again, I'm going to talk about AI, you know, this sort of, you know, machine learning and using people's images and stuff to teach AI how to do stuff. I mean, do we want that? My face is my personal information as much as my bank details are. It's a very
Of course.
interesting world, isn't it?
Well, with AI now, we always go off on tangents, listeners, but that's what we love about us. But with AI, your face is, can unlock your phone now. So with AI, you could easily, I don't know if you can do that via a screen, but it probably won't be long before you can,
Oh, wow, yeah.
you know. So, but with going back to voice noting, that is true. Like, it's a great feature, but you should be aware of what you're sending, because that could
Yeah.
be sent on, forwarded on, forwarded on, forwarded on,
And to who?
and to who.
And we're talking
So
here about trust between people, which is another whole other topic. How do you know you can
it
trust
is.
someone?
It
Um,
is.
and
So
how you might change your mind later. Like, you know, I might have said something in a voice note that I later regret. I can delete that, but that doesn't stop the fact that somebody's already heard it.
Well, exactly. You can delete it on your phone, because if someone's read it, that's a good point, actually. Because if I send you a message, I've realized, and it's not a bad message, I might have just sent it to the wrong person.
Yeah,
I can delete for all, but you can only delete for all until that person's not read it, until that person's read it.
yeah.
So
You
it
have to
go on
wait.
and on and on. Yeah. So to wrap up this episode, because we thought, voice noting to me is just a hilarious function, which I really enjoy now. So are you for voice noting or against voice noting now, Phoebe?
For it under certain circumstances.
Yeah, you got to use it correctly.
Yeah, yeah. And there are some people that I won't voice note because I know they won't listen to it. And there's some
Yeah,
people I'll only voice note because that's what they always do. So again,
yeah,
it's about who your mate is. You know, like some people you go to
yeah.
cinema with and some people you go to pub with. And it's
This
just
is
like
true.
knowing who's who and what's what.
Agreed. And I think we've got it down to a fine art. I think just be like Natalyan and Phoebe, because we text the right information and we voice note rambling.
Essentially, we do everything right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Be like
I do
us.
not mean that. We do not mean that in a serious way.
Do we? Do we not? But so let's listeners, again, we talk about many different topics here, some more serious than others. Any topics that you want to hear about, please let us know. Share, comment, let us
Yeah.
know your experiences with voice noting, all the different social media platforms, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah. Take it easy, people.
See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.